certainly doing a lot more to secure the border and could be doing even more if Republicans would stop their obstruction.
If Republicans would stop there. Let's go to one of those obstructors right now. Congressman Troy Nehls. He's from Texas. He's a former sheriff in Fort Bend County, Texas. Represents the area just west of Houston. Congressman, are you obstructing the border, securing the border, sir?
Yeah, obstructing. Sure, I'm obstructing. No, listen, number one, I don't like her too much. I don't think she's too bright. But I do know this, is that Joe Biden didn't have to do anything. He should have just shut his mouth. He shouldn't even have opened his mouth as it relates to our southern border, because our southern border was the most secure border we've had in 40 years under Donald J. Trump. To remain in Mexico, everybody knows it. And now what this president did is he reversed it all. He reversed course, and now we've got a true crisis, a humanitarian crisis, the drugs, the fentanyl, the human trafficking, sex trafficking, all of it. And it's all his fault, and it's by design, Mike. It's by design. Shame on them for what they've done by putting the American people last.
Tell me about the design. What's the design? What's the purpose? What's the motivation for this?
Well, number one, when you have a president, wasn't even inaugurated, wasn't even in office on January 20th beforehand, he was inviting people in. He says, come on in. And initially it was from the triangle, you know, the Nicaragua, the El Salvador and all that. He invited them from across the globe. We have them from Ecuador. They're coming from everywhere. I've been to the border. I've been all the way from California to Texas, and they're coming from everywhere. And it's in the millions of people now. I tell you, people are coming. Most of them are waving the white flag, Mike. They're crossing that Rio Grande. They know Border Patrol's there, but the president invited them, so no worries. Just claim that asylum. You want asylum, and you'll be released into our country. There's almost 1 million of the gotaways. Those are the individuals, the bad hombres, that are avoiding that apprehension or detection. They're the ones that we really, truly need to be concerned about.
Well, let's go back to your time as sheriff. So obviously it's a crime to come across here illegally. But after that even, what effect on neighborhoods, on communities, when it comes to drugs? You mentioned human and sex trafficking and all the rest. What did you see as sheriff that we need to know about?
I was a sheriff of a large county of Southwest Houston, Fort Bend County. I had 826 employees. I had about 800,000 people to protect. And what I noticed during my time as sheriff of 8 years is that there were illegals coming over. We had many from Colombia, that there were very large Colombian gangs, and they were very good technology-wise on breaking into homes. We captured many of them, working with HPD and other task forces to eventually capture them. And many of these individuals have been deported from our country several times. I got this knucklehead here. Look at this guy here. This guy here was deported 6 times. He was deported 6 times, and he ran over and killed an elderly lady, killed her when he was drunk. And so now we have people in my county, across the great state of Texas, across the country, individuals that have been deported by more than 1 time, this guy 6 times, and then he finally kills somebody. So we've got a problem in our country, and we don't have a secure southern border. If we have a secure southern border, we will put the American people first, but this administration does not put us first. And I say it's by design, because eventually this administration and the far left wants to give everybody amnesty, citizenship, and then it's one party rule forever.
Yeah. Have you talked to Democratic congressmen about this issue? What's their, you mentioned the voting. Let me back it up. The last guest we talked to is the head of the Center for Immigration Studies, Mark Krikorian. And he wrote an editorial recently that's saying, yes, it's voting, but right now illegal immigrants can't vote. Okay. And he brought up a couple other reasons about why this may be planned or whatever. But then his ultimate conclusion was that people on the left just straight, flat, don't believe in enforcing laws. They just think it's inhumane, it's wrong. Who are we to say that people shouldn't come here? I kicked off the show talking about how people believe that America is an idea. And when you go down that road, you start to forget that America is also a place. So speak to that. Like the Democrats you're talking to, what are they saying this is about, and why are they ignoring it?
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind, Mike. It's like nobody complains about it until you become a victim. from one of these illegals. And an example would be the Martha's Vineyard, the mayor up there, Adams up in New York City, and here in Washington, D.C., with Mayor Bowser. She's a nut job. And you look at it. So you get a few thousand people in D.C., you get a few thousand in New York City, 50 in some of Martha's Vineyards? And now all of a sudden we got to talk about illegal immigration, and these individuals shouldn't be here. What are they doing up here? That DeSantis fella, you guys are all racist, you Republican governors that are transporting these individuals from Texas and across the country up into our own backyards. Now it becomes a problem. It was a problem, sure. They were the same ones talking about Donald Trump when he put these people, these kids in cages, separating them from their families. That was the only time they talked about illegal immigration until now, when we put them in their backyard. They don't like it. They don't like it. But it's a little taste of their own medicine. So I applaud the governors and others. Instead of sending a few thousand up to Martha's Vineyard or up to New York City and these liberal cities, these welcoming cities, these sanctuary cities, we should send tens of thousands of people up there, and maybe they'll take notice.
30 seconds, Congressman. What's one policy you would enact or enforce? I feel like most of these laws are probably already on the books. We just don't enforce them. What's the biggest one that you would make sure we start enforcing?
What we should do on our southern border is we should go back and reverse course and go back to all of Trump's policies. Because for the past 40 years, it was the most secure border we've had in 40 years under Donald J. Trump. Oh, by the way, Republicans had an opportunity to secure the southern border when we had both chambers. We had Paul Ryan as Speaker, both chambers as President, and he did nothing with it. So Republicans have failed in many areas as well. But under Donald Trump, we had the most secure border in 40 years. We go back to those policies, remain in Mexico, no more catch and release, and America will be safer for it.
Hey, Slater Crusaders, maybe you've heard that the border is totally out of control. It's complete chaos. No, don't worry. Kamala's got it all under control. It's very secure, she tells you. Give me a break. We're going to talk with a reporter on the ground. Give us a live on-the-ground update on what exactly is happening at our border, who is coming here, and why. We'll also talk with some incredible experts, including a sheriff and a congressman, about the effects of crime that this has on the rest of the country. We must get this under control. We must get order at our border. That's coming up on thefirsttv.com. You can download it for free at thefirsttv.com.